on your side, because once those winds subside, the temperatures, they just bottom out. And that seems a little counterintuitive. Typically you think, well, higher wind speeds makes us feel colder. Yes, that is how wind chill works. But when you actually calm the winds, it allows the previous afternoon's warmth to return back to the atmosphere. And that's why we fall sub-freezing out from 128 to 495, maybe even sprinkling in the upper 20s out through interior locations. Not as much as a consideration towards coastal spots, right around 40 degrees in Boston and 41 in Provincetown, but still frost in the conversation when you're talking about temperatures of 35 to 36 degrees. So for sensitive plants, may want to bring them indoors. We'll be sensitive tomorrow morning.
So I made those plant cases, as I'm calling them, for these canna lilies from old curtains I had. They are Crosskill brand, I think, from the 90s. They were my mom's. She gave them to me, and I just had them. I wasn't using them. They're very faded, and so I decided when I heard the hard freeze was coming, because it's been in the 60s, 50s, 60s here, even up to 90 one day, but the night was going to drop down so cold. These tropical cannas cannot survive that temperature. So I knew either I had to bring these pots inside or do something else, cover the plants somehow. Now these pots are a glazed ceramic and it's filled with dirt, and they stay up here on these posts year round. I never move them. They're quite heavy. I'm sure I could recruit my husband to take them down for me, but that would also take a lot of work, a lot of time. And it was supposed to be just one night. It ended up being 2 nights. So I had to do it a second time, and that's what I'm taking down today. But after 2 nights of freezing with those cases on them, they seemed to work. They turned out all right. They've survived, yay. So I'm excited because I bought these. This is the first year I've planted canna lilies in these pots. I think they're beautiful flowers. They're supposed to get quite tall. And I bought 7 plants at about $14 each. So, you know, I didn't really want them to die. It was my investment, and I'd love to see them get to the size they should be. going to remove the cases from off the plants today, the canna lilies. It's about 60 degrees, 61 degrees. It did warm up quite nicely, but we'll just have to see what they look like underneath. Let's take a look at them. Looks all right. Not too burned or anything. It's getting a little windy here, or it has been. Beautiful cannas. So I think they worked quite well. Here you can see a little bit, it's dried out, you know, just the tips, but I think it'll recover. So let's see, it's got a little bit of the dry leaves, but that could be from the weather and everything else. Looking good. Bit dry. It looks a little burned, but not too bad. And then this one I think looks the best actually. Not too shabby. The buds stayed okay. Looks like I'll be getting some new flowers. But looks like my makeshift pillowcases or plant cases worked. So I also had some tomato plants, basil, and other flowers that I planted, marigolds and other such things, hanging baskets that I had to put inside because it was getting so cold. So I'm just going to bring them back out now. It's nice and warm, about 63 degrees out, windy, but still nice. And this is how I covered up some of my pots. Just a regular old sheet, a blanket, and these are tender tomato plants and some basil. I did not want them to get any frostbite, and I really didn't want to bring them inside, so I covered them up with a sheet. Don't mind the mess here. And these other ones I just stuck in the back because it's a sheltered area. You don't get as much wind here. Now I will just take them off. I tuck them under the pots. Hopefully it's not too hard. Okay. And they look all right. Now that I have unearthed them, blankets over there, you can see there are no burn marks or even real dry spots or anything. They look fairly decent. Yay! Hopefully no more freezes in the near future and we're all done with that.